Hey everyone, how are you? Welcome to Into the Core podcast with myself, Linda. Today we have an amazing, and when I say an amazing woman who I absolutely love and who I'm so privileged to actually interview. His name is Aaron Rimbui. But before we even start it, gotta start the show the way that we do. Into the core.
Get into it.
All good things in Africa and beyond. Into the core.
Into the core.
Into the core.
Into the core.
Into the core. All good things in Africa and beyond. So, first of all, I gotta say this. One of the most amazing things that I know that I've done was starting this podcast because I used to have conversations with a really great person and a great human being. I've been in radio, and it was just a way for me to communicate, to inspire, to be about being part of a community, a family. And so today, I'm just so unequivocally just so proud that I get to interview my ex co-host of the Capital Jazz Club, Mr. Aaron Rimbui. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You was welcome.
Thank you.
How are you, honey?
I'm good. It's I'm in New York City. No, actually Jersey, but in
Yeah.
Kentucky. It's actually unusually mild winter. It's not killing us. In fact, even after this, I'm going out. I'm going to Soho after this. So, and life. It's going to be 6 years in August since I moved out here. Imagine, time goes so fast. 6 years.
6 years.
6 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Six.
that.
6 years. 6 years. Imagine. It's now 5.5 years. I'll be here 5.5 years. I moved out here
Wow.
5.5 years ago.
I am so proud of you because I remember when you told me that you were leaving to go to New York. I was just like, so you're going to leave us high and dry, and then so now the rest of Kenya, what do we do? How do we cope? Because we're so used to you having like beautiful segments, and we're used to you just like I feel like we took advantage, but then when you came back, you came.
Oh
Eh.
man, it's what an interesting journey it's been, especially if I start talking about my project with BN. That's something that even I never.
Okay, wait. We can't even get into that yet. Me, I just want to. Okay, so first of all, what was the motivation for you to move to New York? Because I feel like I should start at the very beginning. It's like we're watching The Sound of Music, so we have to start with the ABCs. But everybody knows your story about how you got into music. But how did you? Okay, we'll start with your ABCs of New York.
Okay,
You
yeah,
met
that's a good place to start.
you met some amazing people here in Kenya while you were performing.
Absolutely.
And during the Safaricom Jazz Club, and with our greatest ex co-host who still co-hosts with us, and I feel like his spirit is somewhere here with us today, the amazing Bob Collymore. But I feel like you got to meet some amazing talent. Can you talk about your journey to New
New York?
York? Then talk to me about some of the amazing people that you have worked with and that you have been influenced in working with?
Oh wow, that I'm looking at the time. Time actually does fly. So at the end of 2013,
Mm.
actually somewhere in the middle of sometime in 2013, myself and Kanji Bugwa started doing this shows called Piano and Voice. Um, 1 minute. And in one of the shows, Mr. Collymore announced that they're making a plan to have a that Safaricom Jazz Festival. And over the
Yeah.
years, I kind of, in my interactions with him, I kind of always told him, you know, don't have a festival. I was doing all that, and I'd done one of the shows with Safaricom. But then he was like, you know what, let's start. Kenya needs a festival. You know, South Africa there's a couple in West Africa, some in North Africa, but Eastern Africa doesn't have any. And so that's what started. And then December of 2013, I just finished Project Fame. They're like, you know what, it's happening, and we want you to be the musical director, like the artistic director for the festival, for the first one. And so we started talking about artists. Long story short, I was like, you know what, for the first one, other than get any other artist, why don't we make it African artist? And we were able to get the one and only Mr. Richard Bonner, who for me was like, that's the best way to start the festival. And
Right.
so, and yeah, he came in. That's now February of 2014, and now that's why I say it's just providence, how God just makes things work. Now,
God is good.
In between when he was around, me being the festival director at that time, I spent a lot of time. That was the first time that I was so glad that there was traffic, because I was in, from one radio station, all the press things. So what, in the car, just hitting it, just talking in the car. And
Right.
so he started asking me what you're up to, what I'm up to. Like, wait, what are you up to? So I'm like, no, this is what I'm doing. Music, hear it. We're actually playing. I'm actually playing before you get to hear me. Now, on one of the workshops at the Michael Joseph Center, we ended up jamming. So he was on bass, I was on piano. And afterwards, he was like, he had such nice things to say about my playing. So I was like, you know what, that's fantastic. So on the day of the festival, during his sound check, because I was there early, I'm on stage, he's finished the sound check, he's going back to the hotel. He just picks me aside and tells me, by the way, I think you should move to New York. So like, okay. So like, why? It'll grow you, it'll challenge you, it'll make you a better musician, and he told me his own story, in the sense that he's from Cameroon, moved to France, and in France he met this ridiculous, world-renowned guitar player. His name is Mike Stern, and they ended up playing. And like he says, by the way, at that time when he couldn't speak English, he could only play the language of music. So he was playing bass, trying to communicate with Mike Stern. Mike Stern tells him, you know what? Get yourself to New York. I think that's where you belong. And so he says that he got a one-way ticket. Yeah, I think he got some money from his sister, and bought a one-way ticket. And that was in the mid-90s. It's like that advice that I was given from Mike Stern, I'm giving it to you. Get yourself to New York. And so I thought about it, but at that time in my career, I started feeling like I'd hit a plateau, like I'd hit, you've done Coke Studio, you've done Fame, you're on radio, you've done everything that needs to be done. What next? So
definitely you needed a challenging situation.
Yeah, because at that time I was 35, so I was like, I was looking at the next couple of years, like where's my life, like, and Kenya didn't seem to give me any promise of growth. I was looking at what was happening, not even too far away in South Africa, and then I needed more, and so that started the journey of moving to New York. So I applied. I wanted to do it legally, because I'm like, why move to the US and then be illegal and you can't travel? You can't do much because you're, you know. And so it took a 3-year journey, and so I settled here in 2017,
Right.
and I got what is called I later realized what I have is ridiculous, because it's a pathway called, you apply for, it's a self petition, this immigration law, for extraordinary ability. Basically, you're telling the U.S. government, I'm that dope, I need to be in your country, in a nutshell. Now they
Yeah.
ask you. Now they need you to prove.
You need me.
Now you're like, okay, you say you're dope. Okay, prove it.
To prove how. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
they've got all these they've got all these criteria that, and all these things that you need to show that you say who you claim to be, who you are. Yeah. You may be dope, but let's see. You have, like, are you known? Like, there's a couple of things. So I applied, and the process actually took way longer than I thought it would. But then later I realized that mine was actually one of the shorter ones. In the as it's going on, you don't realize actually yours is a blessing. People take 10 to 15 years. Mine took 3 years. So moved out here. So the process began on May of 2014, and I got here August of 2017, and that began a new whole chapter. And so that's a very condensed version of how I got here. And let me just add this: the first play in 2018, when I finally got a spot to play my first maiden show in the US. Talk about serendipity and how God things work. Was in Richard Bonner's club.
Wasn't that one of the places I remember you and I used to talk, like when we were in the studio?
Bonafide. Yeah.
You were like, if I go to New York, I must play at this club, and your first gig was there.
It was there. His club.
Okay.
You can't make this stuff up. You can't.
No, but also that's how God works, because we manifest, we ask God, we put it out there because we're specific about what we put out to God. Got to be specific about it. Because you were talking about it when we were in the studio.
Absolutely. In fact, we had a whole conversation about how he had opened a club in New York City and one in France, And so for me to play there 4 years later, because this is now 2018, 4 years later, it was surreal. In fact, I remember when he told me, I can remember I told him, yo, man, I'm playing at your club, because now I was dealing with some people. He said, I told you. And he said, I'm so glad you came.
It's called patience, resilience, things that are demanded of us. I mean, like, we always expect that we're going to be like, everything should happen chap chap. I feel like the things that happen chap chap, and this is just for inspiration and purely inspiration, things that happen like this,
this process, this time, I think the last 10 years for me have taught me how to just wait. There's such power. In fact, the right word is power in waiting. In fact, I was telling someone that in the Bible,
where are we? I'm like, yes. Sorry, you have me moved. This is what inspiration, and this is why Into the Core is. Yes, go ahead.
I was telling someone that it's interesting is that chapter in the Bible where people always quoted in weddings. Love is what? The first description of love is patient.
Love is patient.
Love, like the first thing right there is patience. Like, patience is a big thing. We don't want things now. Yesterday was watching a podcast, and there's a quote that really hit me so hard. Sometimes do away with the destination. We're so in a hurry to get to the destination, but we forget about the process of getting there. And sometimes life throws things at you. The great Kirk Whalum saxophonist extraordinaire. I had him on a podcast. But sometimes when you're going through stuff and life is throwing you things, COVID completely came and messed up us entertainers. So we had, and life things. But when you're going through it, you don't realize that you're still going up. It's until you zoom out, you still like the trajectory is still going up. But when you zoom in, that's when you see the craters, the ups and downs, but you still don't, but you don't know you're going up. You're still going up. So sometimes zoom out and see that you're been going. It's been steady, even through like in between those little things, and life is like that.
I was gonna just say that you are my hope right now. I'm like, I needed to talk to you today. Clearly, I feel like this is a therapy session right now. I'm like, no, I needed to hear that, because like you said, zoom out, look at how everything is. We're seeing all the bumps, the boulders, like rocks are thrown at us, things are coming. And you're just like, why, Lord, why me? But truthfully, it is ascending, not descending.
No, you're still ascending. Yeah. A friend of mine told me that the first time he climbed the mountain, this was actually Mount Kenya, I think. So they're all gathered down there, and the mountain is right there in front. And then the guide is like, okay, let's go. Then they went the other way. It's like they went down a hill. You're like, wait, what? I thought we were going up that way. We're climbing. Like, no. Go down and then spiral our way, go this way. Like it's I'm like, that's how life is, and even for me, even coming here, 2018 is great, 2019 is dope, then COVID. And the first people who were hit were us entertainers. They're like, so what am I supposed to do? Creatives, yeah.
Creatives across the board were just like, so how do I pay rent? Sorry.
Absolutely.
Nganga is coming to pick up rent, or, Mr. I don't know, Mr. B is coming over here to pick up rent. How?
And New York life is extremely crazy. I know we were the first to be hit so hard. So in fact, when the place was shutting down, I come to renew my passport, because now everywhere is shutting down. So So I took the next flight out to come into Times Square and see a ghost town, which is, I even took a pic. I needed to take that pic and remind myself how crazy it was. So, and then for me, that meant, like, so what am I supposed to do? You see, I can't come back to Kenya because even in Kenya, it's a wild thing. It's happening all over. So where am I going? The cancellations, because for me, I thought 2020 was going to be, that's when things for me had now started opening up. In fact, I remember I was at the Lincoln Center.
Yeah.
And I was like, finally, this was January of 2020. Like, I'm playing at the Cape Town Jazz Festival. Like, things have just completely opened up. Like, woo! What a way to start the new decade. Little did I know, like 6 weeks later, or 2 months later,
you're down. It's done.
It's done. The cancellations. This has been cancelled. 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 All these things have been cancelled. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
COVID basically gave us the opportunity to just reinvent our lives. We all know that. There's a lot of people who've reinvented, assessed, come up with, I have a friend who's got an amazing coffee brand called Revolutionary Coffee. These people who literally had to sit back and just think about what your passion is, Meanwhile, for me, 2021, I stepped out of my zone. It's a choice. I stepped out of my zone, but I'm reliving my zone right now. And for me, I feel like I had to start it with you. It's like a welcome back, like type of thing. I'm like, who else am I going to start it with than somebody who I absolutely love and support? And I know we're all sure. Why are they honking? What is it with these Jersey guys?
Is this, you know how it is. You know how the East Coast is.
What is
There's always noise. There's fire alarm. And
Okay,
construction.
no. So
And every other day there's some construction. I'm like, you guys are never. What are you building? In fact, remember like today, so
they
this
go,
road is closed. Okay, Anyway,
why? Why are you disrupting the peace? Anyway, but no, I feel like um, I'm happy that you went through your, like whatever it was, it made it start and then stop. The start and stop probably was, and I'm assuming this is where your collaboration with Bien comes in, because people start talking, everybody starts like, boss, what are we doing? How are we doing it? When are we doing it? How, what, when, where?
actually,
Let's just
in
make
fact,
things happen.
let me tell you the story behind that collaboration. How things just. Usually, I always say, God always surprises me. So, as I said, 2020 was crazy. Even personally, things went down. My family it was just a pain. So I was in Kenya. Yeah, I was in Kenya at the end of 20. Yeah, towards the end of 2020. Because in 2019, God, after waiting, God blessed me with a baby girl. And so 2020 happened. So my parents hadn't seen her yet. So we're like, it's easier because that time you couldn't travel. Travel was nuts. So like it's easier to come and finally meet your granddaughter. And so that's what the trip was, and a couple of other things, life.
Right.
So on 28th, or not 29th, the day or two after, just not doing much. Just about the year is just about coming to a close. So I hit up Bien and I tell him, hey, by the way, I'm actually staying not far from you. Where are you? Like, I'm at home. You want to come and we hang out? I'm like, okay. But I've not seen him in a while. So catch up. So I go to his house and I get there and Ben Sol is there. I'd never met Ben Sol because of course here, and I'd seen how he was making just like, who's this guy who's just knocking everyone out, So I was like, oh wow, finally. So we hung out, chop it up. And then I sat on the piano and he's like, do we write something? I'm like, yeah, you know me. So he's got a piano in his house. So I sat down and I started playing some chords, just the usual, and Stamina came out that day. Now, we're not even thought about writing an album. It was just a song that, let's just put it on our phones, get voice notes. Who knows, one day, at least we're written a song.
One day.
One day. So, and the song came out, and in fact, even they were leaving because they were attending some function. So Bien was going upstairs to go and get dressed. So I started playing these chords, and then Ben Sol sang the lyrics that made me come down so fast. He actually said, guys, I'm going to be late. I need to finish writing something. So we wrote the entire song that day, but then put it away. So I was like, okay, it's been nice catching up. The next Monday, which was the 3rd of January, 2021. Mind you, this time personally, my life has flipped. If you want to know all the details, all who's checking out, go to Bikozulu. I talk about what happened. I told him my story. But anyway, so my life is in turmoil. But then Bien is hitting me up and says, where are you? I'm like, I wake up and find 4 missed calls or 5 missed calls from him. Like, hey, why is Bien calling me? It's like, so I hit him up like, hey, are you fine? Are you okay? Like, yo, man, the studio is free for a week. Do you wanna cut a record? I'm like, do an album with Soul.
I love it. And did you have a record?
Like, yeah, with Sauti Soul. So, like, are you guys doing a new album? Like, no, me and you. So, like, what do you need? Like, yeah, me and you. Let's have a guy. We've got free time. Let's do an album. And let's not pressure ourselves. Let's make an EP about 4 or 5 songs. Done. We already have one. We can write. It's like me and you. We can write a song even right now.
Easy peasy.
So he's like, I've got the contacts of the guy in the studio, so let's set it up. So the next day, which was a Tuesday, we went to the studio, wrote 2 songs. Actually, I came with a song, he came with a song, and then we just brushed it up. And then at the end of that rehearsal, because now he's like, since we don't want to waste too much time, we're going to record it live station. Because, getting the studio programming is going to take time. And coming back to the US. So it's like, we just getting a band to play it live, like the old school way, the way guys used to do it in the 70s, would be actually really kind of cool. And then the studio is available. So I was like, okay, right? So at the end of that rehearsal, because now we're meeting the band Wednesday to rehearse recording, I tell him, by the way, I know you South Soul guys into Roomba. And you've got this Roomba that you guys are creating. And I said, okay, here's some chord changes, but let's write a song, an old school Roomba that your dad and my dad are going to be hip to. It's like, oh, is that what you want? Yeah, so, and Ben Sol was there. So Ben Sol now ended up being part of it. He wrote a couple of songs. So like, you'll have this song tomorrow. Like, so it's like one of the ones this Tuesday evening. Wednesday, I come in early because they're like, before the band comes, let's just meet so you can know what the song is. So they came and played me the song. So the lyrics, first of all, just cracked me up. I was just laughing. You guys are insane. Kunyo Maji, Kunyo Pombe. I was like, you guys are. So they get to the hook and they sing my name. Like, so in my mind, I'm like, okay, that's dope. So I'm laughing, I'm in speeches. I'm like, so because when you're writing songs, you can have a lyric filler. Like if you're looking for something, like you can put something to feel it so you can come back and add some new ones. So I was like, okay. So like, that sounds so dope. So I'm sure my name is just to fill in, you guys will come back. They're like, no.
There's something else. It is what it is.
This is it. I was like, what? I was like, eh? I was confused. I was like, what? So I'm like, that's the chorus. Like, yeah, absolutely. Like, it fits perfectly. And then Biano was like, see, I can write a song for you.
And you know what? You better have thanked him and then some for that.
By the way, let me tell you, he didn't know. He didn't know. I can't tell him what was going on with me. But in my mind,
the whole concept, because I knew, okay, so at the back end, I know the story, but it makes so much sense every time I listen to it. I'm just like,
he didn't know. They didn't know. In fact, so anyway.
Really?
But, yeah, he didn't know what I was going through. He didn't. I kind of knew that there was some things going on, but I didn't keep in the issues because I didn't want that to spoil the vibe of the album. So, because if I come and start telling you, hey, this is what's going on with me, it can change how it'll just take you somewhere else. So
I'm such a mjuaji because in my back of my head, I'm just like, you and I had a conversation, and I think we spoke for like 2 or 3 hours at some point when you were in Nairobi, that I was just like, nah, man, you got your back. I got you. You're my people. Yeah. You remember?
2021 was such a difficult year for me. Ridiculous. Like my life flipped, So,
but that was so funny that they didn't know anything, and then a song like this comes out, and in my head, I'm just like.
But in fact, this story gets way better. But that's why I say that God actually made this because I knew that I needed something to give me hope, and just because now I'm in the throes of things. Like 2021 is insane, I said in the interview with people, like I was actually starting all over again. My life, family, everything. I lost everything. So anyway, we shoot the videos, record is out at the end of the year. Now, before I come back, first of all, the launch, the videos, So first of all, it's even confusing because I come back for the launch. Here I am. Life has completely flipped out on me. The next day, I come to Nairobi and I'm seeing myself on billboard. So it's complete like night and day. I'm like, if you guys knew what is going on with me right now, like right now, where I'm from, so you're giving me like I've never been through so much pain in my life. And now I'm coming here, I'm seeing there, bald men love better. They're all out. I'm like, oh wow. Oh wow. I'm like, oh. So
Love it.
the contrast was like that.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So I'm like, oh wow, oh wow, oh wow. So my body's even my mind is trying to make sense of what's going on, you know.
You're deciphering. You're trying to figure out like what the hell just happened.
What's
We
going
just did
on? You know?
Who
And
did
you
it?
know, and then because now the record had been taken over by this group this outfit in SA, the Superior African Creative Agency, who actually had Sauti Sol for their project. And so it had now throughout the year there was, you know, they came now the machinery for Sauti Sol took over the project. Some in WhatsApp groups, you know, styling, your concepts, storyboards. This was so in my mind. I'm like, oh wow, so this is exactly, oh wow, oh wow. So mind you, I'm a jazz guy. I've been this guy who has been out, who's background, you know, behind the scenes. But when I do my gigs, they're not too deep. But now I'm being thrust into the pop of pop. In fact, let me even tell you a funny story. Now, for those who don't know me, I'm pretty much, you know, very conservative. I'm not the guy who's out there doing, you know, I'm 100% Bible believing Jesus follower. You know, and I've always been. So now we are shooting Wembley. Oh my God. In fact, Dan is the one who tells that story. So in my mind, I'm like, oh. Now, me and him don't necessarily have the same values and beliefs, but we're tight, you know. So when I saw the video concept, I was like, oh wow, so there's going to be all these beautiful ladies dancing around. In my mind, I'm going to be on that. Oh my. So what? Oh my God. And the first thing is like, what is my mom going to
I really wish I really wish I had Jacob and the
Oh my God.
lyrics
How am I
just
doing?
doing it.
Oh man.
It
So,
would have been Christian with just that. They'd have just been like,
so,
so now what would you do?
so we are shooting. We're shooting in Malindi. So we get there. Very nice spot in Malindi. So it's the day for shooting the video. So in my mind, I'm like, oh man, this is completely uncharted territory. Never done. And that's his thing. He's a pop star, so he's used to this stuff. You know, like this is. In fact, this is cheap. This is what is this? So I get out of my room. So where we're shooting where we were staying. So I get out. I'm seeing these girls have showed up, and then in my mind, I'm like, finally. So it won't be as crazy. Little did I know that they're not even dressed up yet for the video. So I go back to my room all time because they needed to. So the director is like, we're gonna do this in the afternoon because the sun will be at a specific place. So I get up. So I'm getting dressed up. So I get out. And I walk up, and I'm like, oh wow. Oh, okay. So this
Did you feel like you finally made it? You were just like, I'm king.
So I think Bian kind of knew that this is completely, this is not anything that I do. So he could tell that. But then he was now getting frustrated with me because he's like, dude, just do the video, man. Just come on, man. Just do the video. Like, what's wrong with you? Right? Stop making it more complicated than you're making it. Stop overthinking. Have fun. So what? It's like, so what? I can remember he gave me some more. Like, dude, ah, do the video. Do you want to be in the video or not? He gave me a lecture.
That's hilarious.
So
When an artist tells another artist, you know what, we did this. What are you doing?
I'm like, we're here now. Like, we're here. So
Uh-huh.
I remember when he was talking to them. So he's like, okay, you know what? I don't want to force you to do something that you really don't want to do. And I'm like, you know what? Why not? It's fun. Basically, 2021 is for me to you start all over again. Why not? So we did the video. And now there's this shot in the video where there's this ladies who are kind of caressing my bald head. And I can remember when we shot it, and I saw it. Yeah, and he couldn't. He was just having a field day. It's like, he was, man, he was having a field day, you know.
But you know what that was? But you know what that was? He pushed you to a place that you, this is how I look at it.
Uh-huh.
An uncomfortable place for you to get over whatever it was that you needed to get over.
Actually,
Sometimes God
you're so
sends
right.
angels.
Because at that time, this a month or two later, I turned 42. This 2021, and I remember I was like, you know what? It's time to be unapologetic. You know, it's time to be unapologetic and embrace me for me. I'm like, I'm technically starting my life all over again. Why don't I just quit being timid about what people will say? Like, just leave me. Let me just be me. You know.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't like me, thanks, but probably you're not for me. You know what I mean? Like, well, I can't live my life trying to explain my decisions to people who many times don't even really care.
Yeah.
They've got their own lives that they're living. So am I, you know, like, let me have fun, you know.
Exactly.
So, but I was still a little anxious because when the video comes out, I'm like, what? I'm sure it's going to be insane because nobody has seen me in that type of way. Anyways, so we come back in November when the record is actually, it's so dope because the album came out on Naima's birthday, November 5th. It was two things. You know, like Ballman came out on November 5th, 2021. She's turning 2. You know. So, and she was in Kenya at that time. So it was so dope.
Aaron, do you see God's work? You see God's work? We don't even understand it. Sometimes we don't need to understand it, but we know that He's working.
You know, as I said, when you zoom out, at that time when I'm in the pain, and this is for someone who may be working. So sometimes when you're in pain, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like right there, life has just thrown you the most painful situation. And many times you think you're not going to make it up. And many times you actually think you're not going to make it up. But I've learned, I think the biggest lesson I learned in 2021 is to live every day. In fact, I was in such pain that I just live moment by moment, minute after minute. Like, okay, today we made it. Did we? Well done. But that's how we're supposed to live anyway. Why do we wait for to be able just to, treasure every single moment you have? You know, like, so these days, yeah, but right now, my eyes are wide open. Every little moment. I'm like, I'm not gonna let things pass me by. You know.
Amen to that. You know, I'm so proud of you, Aaron. I mean, like, and Ben, thank you for getting him out of his comfort zone because I just like conversations that we had were just boldly presented by the time you guys came out with your record, like boldly, not bold.
Can I make even this story even more insane?
Tell me. Because he's deep, you know. That's not a person I need to just interview. But then Like I don't know if I'm ready for him yet because he might just shatter my life and then the screen start cracking and things. Because you know how he
He
is,
will.
right?
He will. He
I
will.
will just like, then I'll be like, hello,
So,
hello, hello.
so in 2015, when I was doing my album Deeper, I featured
Yeah.
him in it.
Uh-huh.
So there's a song he sings, and then we recorded How Life Is. We recorded the session at the late great Bruce Odhiambo studio right at the center.
Rest.
Yeah. So he tells me this is late when the album is launched. Like, wait, let me tell you, when we recorded your song, I was walking down the steps and I was like, one day I'm gonna. I don't know when, but one. Now, like, look at here we are, 5 years later. You know, like he said, he distinctly saying that I would record with that guy. You know,
Wow.
and so actually today I was having a conversation. So we are still there's lots to do. This project for the bald man is a because it's too much fun. Let me tell you, it's one of the projects that no stress. In fact, we said we'll never ever have stress. Like it's just too much. Like, do you record today? When are you in town? Okay, let's go in. It's that type
But
of
that's
stress.
what happens when you do what you love. When you're not stressing about the words, the feelings, like how is it going to affect somebody else? You're just like you're doing it for you. And which is what a lot of people just fail to understand. Like, do it for you, don't do it for other people, forget the rest, like do you. Which is why it was so easy for you guys to come up with like like an amazing album. Is like when you don't have to be like, oh my gosh, I've got writer's block. I'm like, as long as you keep, you told me this just before we started, you were like, Linda, you have butterflies, that is a great thing.
Oh yeah.
Because when I
Oh
have
yeah.
butterflies,
There's
I'm just
something
like,
wrong.
oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my gosh. Okay, Aaron, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. But I had to start again
Do you know what
because I
butterfly? Uh-huh.
had lost
Do you know what
that,
you know what butterflies?
that.
Do you know what butterflies are? They tell you you're living, you're alive, you're experiencing things.
100%. Aroro. Hey, that's what's up. And
Ufungue shati
I'm
ya button imenikaba ko.
no, just wait. Okay, wait. We have a couple of minutes. Huh? Maybe you just tell me how you were just rocking up stages across the US with Tiwa
Oh,
Savage. What the fuck?
okay.
How did that happen?
Very interesting. My stories always are. It's just how things work. So there's this bass player I've been wanting to work, and for some reason, COVID weren't able to meet together. So last year, around this time, we started the Miriam Makeba 90th anniversary thing with the Jazz at Lincoln Center. So we did a show in April. So like, finally, I can pick him up and we can play together. So he was available. I gave him the date. So like, dope. It's in April, end of April, 2 nights. Fantastic. So we did the show. We killed it. Fantastic. A month later, because one of the things that my day gig is that I teach in the Bronx. I teach in public schools in the Bronx.
Yes,
COVID,
you do. Yeah.
COVID actually that was a pivot for me. Bills gotta be paid, so I teach. So I'm a teacher in the middle schools and okay, that primary and high school. So, um, so anyway, I was in class. I get a message from him like, dude. So I get a missed call from him. So then immediately I get a message from him like, hey, are you available to do a tour with Tiwa Savage? So I'm saying, I'm in class, I'm seeing this. I actually excuse my students. This is an urgent one. Let me go and take. So I call him up. I hit him up. I'm like, this is a Thursday, by the way. Eh? So I'm like, sure. When does it start? Like, the first show is you're needed for rehearsal on Monday. First show is on Wednesday. So like this Monday, like after this weekend, Monday in Seattle. Yeah. So it's like, okay. So when music terms. How much? What? So he says, okay, this is how much it's gonna be. You're gonna do 17 cities in North America, probably Europe, and some places.
You
You know,
need a next time. I think you need to come with like your executive assistant. You know, I will sort you out. You know, I'll be like, you want some water? Would you like some? Would you like some juice? Would you like me to pick your Skittles? What colors do you like?
and that tells me something. Like, I know you're a jazz guy, but you know how it's like, you know how to handle things, because this is not jazz. This is 100% pop. We have got your
It's,
own little spaceship.
it's full on.
Everything is
Yeah.
in here monitoring, and you've got your laptop, your writing class. So can you do that? Because it's like she's asked me to be the MD, musical director, but I can't finish all the days for another engagement. So you will end up continuing with that. I'm like, oh wow. Okay, we have agreed. Friday, music has not come in. So I'm hitting him up. I'm like, where are the songs? I'm supposed to be rehearsing with her on Monday. You guys have not sent me the songs. So he's like, okay, I'm sending you the music. So I get the music on Saturday evening. I open my Dropbox folder. It's 30 songs.
Yeah.
30. With tracks, with all this whole thing. I'm like, oh wow, okay. But you see how life works out? There's a show called TPF, Project Fame. I see that one that I did there. I needed to deliver 20 tracks in 3 days for those contestants. It came back to help me this time, because I knew how to work in such a short time. Because so I dedicated that Sunday. So that Sunday, I'm doing all these songs. I asked them, you guys have like track meaning scores, like music written out? Nope.
Can I just say something? That sometimes when people think that you're going through something, you know, mine is to inspire, but you think that you're going through something, right? You went under pressure with Tasca Project Fame, 30 songs, 3 days, and then Tiwa Savage comes in with 30 songs, her own, 3 days. Like life, like I feel like there's no coincidences. It is what it is.
Until you
are being built up to do what is necessary. You get what I'm saying? Like the Tiwa Savage moment was not even about you like feeling the pressure. I feel like God gave you that task thing so that he could prepare you for this over here, because you're gonna have bigger challenges coming towards you, but they're gonna be so much bigger and better and more elevated. And you, anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to break up the thought process, but I'm
no, it's fine.
Like,
it's good to hear you. It's good to hear you. And so that Sunday, I spent the entire day learning this song, all of them, and it's 100% pop. Like all the songs of hers, you know, with the prearranged stuff, you know, because it's a whole other thing thinking in terms of pop. Because this one is not fancy pop, this is just straight up pop. Like it's Afrobeat pop, you know. Which for me now also lessons from Bien. Bien also hit me up with a lot of pop, you know. So then the next day out, we go and rehearse in Seattle. And that ended up being like a 4-week engagement. We toured. And in my mind, I'm like, wow, who would have thought? In my mind, the way I saw 2022 playing, I would have never thought that I'd be touring with her. Never thought. Like how life presents itself. And and it was too much fun. Let me tell you, that's one of the most fun things I've done in my life. Too much fun. Too much. I repeat.
Yes.
Too much fun. Like, because you see, because man, and then this is the thing. Every audience, because we're playing in mid-sized, like 2,000, 1,500. You know. So every night is the same energy that you had the last night before. So, Kabisa, like by the time I call on stage and we're playing the intro and the whatever, when she's coming on stage, like it's just too much. And I've never done anything like that. Like, so it's just insane. And Tiwa is huge. Tiwa is huge.
What do you think the energy would be like if you came back to Nairobi,
Mhm.
produced a high energized concert, like what you have learned and what you have seen, would you want to give back out here? Would you want to come back and like do a stint, do lessons, do something, that prepares people mind, body, soul? Because um you're meticulous. It's something that I put on my Facebook, when I was doing the intro. Number one, you're always like, dressed to death. I mean, I've never seen a guy with non-dusty shoes in Nairobi. I don't understand it,
But that's
but we
Nairobi,
can talk about it.
Nairobi too.
You know,
Nairobi too for you.
yeah, no, like I always just used to look at you and I'm just like, why my flip flops? I just walked from the Nini till here, and why are my flip flops dusty? Like I don't understand. Like you okay, so you're impeccably dressed. You're meticulous with what you do. Because I remember when you used to plan our show, everything was meticulous, and it comes back to that whole Tiwa Savage experience. You're meticulous with your stuff. Um, what I would love to know is, and I feel like even between you and Bien Soul and his school, Soul Generation, Generation Soul, mm, what are you guys going to do in order to prepare people for bigger stages? Because it is so necessary, it is so needed, and we need a platform where people learn. We're not just You guys are not just out there like hyping up and getting $1 million each. We've got
It's coming.
children,
That's beyond dollars.
children
It's
of
coming.
children. You get what I'm saying? So I mean, okay, so if it's in the works, I'd like to be a part of it.
Mm.
In the sense of when we're doing, like for me, I'm a creative in my own sense.
Mm.
You know, I do my fashion thing, I do my music thing, I do my podcasting thing. Minaman. I'm out here like trying to like host people. Watano House, when you're ready, come to Diani, please, please come. You know, it's one of those things. I mean, like when you're creative, you gotta give as an outlet. So I want to know what you guys, y'all bald men who are so hot and doing big, big, big things, how are you going to change the lives of the future bold men who are coming up? Kwa sababu wameangalia nini? They've looked at the suras of the fathers and they're just like, this guy's going to be a bold guy. How are they going to adapt into situations? And there's a lot of, mm,
Mm.
speak it, mental health, men needing mentors.
Okay, those are three things, and I'm gonna answer the first question.
Either way, we can't even unpack them. I feel
So
like we need a touch too.
that's a whole other topic about
But
mentorship.
we don't have to touch that today. We can talk about mental health and stuff like that on a different podcast, Aaron. I'm happy to come back
So
for that.
I'm gonna answer that question about giving back in two ways. The first way I'm gonna be brutally honest. I gave what I had to give. All the festivals, everything, but unfortunately, we've got a culture that does not see any value in creativity. Unfortunately, that's what it is.
Truth.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Even with what me and Bien are doing, it's like really, come on, man, like you know, to the point where even when we're doing our own launch, for our own show, corporate sponsor pulled out at 6 hours before the show. I'm like, who does that? Who does that? And in my head, I'm like,
Kenya, thanks.
yeah.
Sorry.
And I'm like, okay, well, that's why I did. So there's a point where you're like, given, and given. Especially for me, who is an instrumentalist and jazz culture, I poured everything that needs to be poured. I've done master classes. I was doing master classes in K2 and bass stuff, you know. So I've given, but there comes a point where like, okay, I need to have a season where I can receive and get and fill me up, you know. So at this point in time, I know I teach. That's what I and I'm gonna do that. But at this point in time, the reason why I need to be because I've given so much, and I don't come and give out of nothing. I want to let it be an overflow. So for the time being, right now, I've not been since January last year, and those are the reasons. Like, you know what? Let me firmly put myself here and just get feel, just get experience, get what I need to fill me up, learn more things. There's so much. In fact, the including them that I've spoken about what I learned touring with Tiwa Savage. There's so much. I'm like, there's so much that I don't know. How these Nigerians are actually taking over the pop scene here and worldwide. Thames just won a Grammy Award with Drake.
Yeah,
you know,
she did well. We just learned about her, and then she just came and just like slashed and slayed and walked away with. Yeah,
you know, and you know, one of the things that they are much ahead or get it right is because they see value in it. The tour was run by Live Nation.
Value,
yeah. Every show, let me tell you, before a show, he will come and tell me, by the way, I respect you. Here's the song. We have to put her on stage. So and so might be coming in tonight. Do you know this song? And you put it in part of the set. So I knew that every so often there'll be someone who will make an appearance and to be ready for it. I'm like, but in Kenya, we want to hold. We operate like this. We don't open ourselves. But guys are always. They're like, you know, there's the bigger picture.
It's a me as opposed to the we.
So for how long?
Did I say it right?
Huh?
It's the I instead of the we. Or is it the?
It's I. It's me. That's why even when situations, one of the things that frustrated me so much was when we're doing even festivals like Maricom and many other festivals, the politics, it was so political that nobody is even focusing on making the show great. It's about who you need to appeal, who you need to do this, like, and people even really don't care. So, but anyway, that's a whole other conversation. So for me,
I feel like you and I need to come back, have a different conversation about industry life.
Oh yeah,
and you know, because today is about you and a celebration about you, not about like industry life. I mean, like, yes, it's part of your growth.
And so now the second part of that question is, yes, I would come back. Kenya is home. That's where I grew up. And that's what it has shaped. I am who I am because of Kenya. So I can't completely knock it out. And so eventually I will come. But for now, the next 2 to 3 years, I just want to do myself. Just soak, learn, see things. Just for a moment, pause and think of what's happening. So, but it works. I had a conversation last night with Muzoni about the performance incubator. So, and it's something that I'm passionate about. And anytime in Kenya, actually, the last thing I did before coming back here in January last year, I had an informal master young musicians in town. So I do it all the time. Now, in terms of shows, me on that. Show me the money. I'm not doing any
Show
show.
me
Show me
money.
the money. I've done everything. I've done 3 gigs. I'm like, Kenya can't be on. Kenya has to give me 2. There comes a time like, I'm allowed, you give me also. The culture has to give back. Like, give me 2, man. I can't be pouring and pouring. What type of relationship is this? Where it's about to and taking. So, however, that being said, in the words of Yusuf, do not forget where you came from. Do not forget your people. So I'm not going to forget my people. So you'll see me playing. Every time I'm in Nairobi, the Gecko Cafe is like my other home. So I'm always there playing. I'm always there. I'm always playing. I'm always hanging out with guys. So,
I think you need to come to Diani, and I'm going to be the one who is inviting you to Diani, because if you play in Diani, it better be because of me.
Okay, make it work.
Do we understand each other?
I feel you. I got you. Let's make it work.
Okay. I love you so much, Aaron. I've missed you.
It's been a minute.
Beyond, and thank you for. Excuse me, DJ. You're in my shot. Thanks. Of course, he had to just run up in it. I mean, like, he's just like, chick, you've been vibing. But what I wanted to say is, I love you. I feel like you've given me such beautiful insight, and I love how you've morphed into the person that you are, how you have visioned and thought about where you wanted to be to where you are, to even the point where you say, if I'm going to do a gig in Kenya, pay me my money. It's important for people to say that, because not many people say that. People will just be like, okay, sawa, kwa sababu. No, I remember watching Burna Boy on Trevor Noah, and the guy was just like, after everything I've done, you're giving me water. I don't deserve water. Like, dude, do you know I'm the first African to sell out? Like, like in New York. Like, who does that? Where is my drink? And we're always very subtle about how we feel about ourselves, that we have to be like, oh yeah, maskini, maskini, maskini. And that's what he said about East Africans. That's what Burna Boy said about East Africans. He was just like, oh yeah, you go to Kenya, guys are just like, yeah, I'm okay, but no, when we're okay, we're okay. When we're not okay, we should just not be okay.
Yeah, we're not okay. And
call it what it is, because we've forgotten how to have a mouth. I'm not on a yes a massa moment. Also, I'm just like, thank you for being my first guest this year of 2020.
I gotta do it.
Not 2023, 2020. Because, honey, I'm coming up bigger, bolder. Throw me. Give a dog a bone. This old girl ain't coming home. Like that. Yeah. I'm in my 40s. I'm loving it. I love that you have, man, I miss you.
That's why I'm here.
Aaron, I freaking miss you. I miss being in the studio with you. I miss you producing our shows. I miss bantering with you. I miss knowledge impacting moments where you're just like, did you know? And I'm just like,
those are good times.
I want to know that, but I love you. And I know Capital Jazz Club is not the same. Me and you, we gigged. And by the way, you must pay homage to.
I'm so happy those guys. My older brothers.
I was gonna say we must pay homage to the late Jack Ojambo.
Oh yeah, he plays. And also, let me also give a shout out to Kaima and Jacob.
Jacob,
Two guys I've known
Jacob.
for almost all my life. Like almost.
See, like
all
Kiama, no, I
my
can't
life.
vibe Kiama like that. I can't vibe Kiama like that. But Jacob, I can be like, call me, so that
Kaima, yeah, so it's good. I'm doing it there because I
I'm just like his brain is like
get him here. Get him here too.
I will.
Yeah, get him here.
Why
Anyway,
can't you all come down? Why can't you all come down? Okay, sending you love. It's been an hour, 5 minutes. We've done this. We've done it.
Finally.
Love you, Aaron. Cheers to everybody who's watched Into the Core podcast. Thank you so much to my special and amazing younger brother. I can actually call him that. Younger brother, Aaron Rimbui, who is top charting, making decisions, making moves, doing things deliberately and not deliberately. And when he doesn't do it deliberately, it's even 10 times better. And we understand that. Shout out to Bien, because you brought him out of his shell, and now look at him. He's like all gangster on me. I don't know how to feel about that. But yeah, he was not like this. He was not even cocky like this in the studio. But now he's just like, yeah.
Oh, you know how we do. You know how we do it. You know how we do it. You know how we do it.
But I love you, and it's a huge big up to Kenya, because we've got people like Aaron Rimbui, Bien. We've got like a beautiful nation of creatives who are doing big things. I want to feature a lot of them this year. This is what my purpose is. I feel like this year I'm going to be homegrown. That's it. But with positive messages and inspiration. So do you. If you don't have butterflies, fuck it.
Oh, how to end it. Okay, but thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Cheers. Bye, baby.
Bye-bye.
Love